So, silly things I've done. I think I mentioned part of this. In like one afternoon, because, you know, I was really just testing out what I could do with a blessing spell, like how many things I could bless at once. If I'm blessing myself, can I just like go sequentially? If I'm just like naming something, because I sequentially named like most, if not all, of the bones in my body in the Latin, because it seemed like, I don't know, a thing to do with like a couple hours. It didn't take me that long, believe it or not. So that's something I did. I named them. So that book. Oh, I've also uh anything that's like an evil spirit that tries to mess with me is unbelievably screwed if I have this thing with me. I think it might actually like, just in general be unbelievably screwed if it messes with me, but like seriously. Um I can like basically like I don't want to talk about it. I can do really bad things to bad stuff that tries to mess with me. It's a bad idea if you're like a disembodied being that tries to mess with me. It's just this very stupid idea. I'm not gonna lie, but you can choose. Also, by the way, you can choose not to believe me on that. Absolutely, I'm not gonna. I anyone who's agnostic who chooses to watch me, please, please, please. I like freely. I'm like I 1,000% believe in like pretty much everything. I, in the past 2 years, literally came to believe in aliens. I didn't believe, like, I was like on the fence about aliens. I was like not disbelieving, but now I'm like a hardcore believer. Like, in the past 2 years, I was like on the fence about it. Seriously, my entire life. Now I'm not anymore. Because the simple fact of the matter is, a movie called Paul made a very simple and obvious argument that was made by other people that it just referenced. Um, There's a lot of space out there. Space is a huge place. Space is huge. It's just big. And like, we're here. How strange it, and there's a lot of other things that have been alive a lot longer beside here. So I basically used this to bless everything, like basically every bone in my body. I made a joke to a friend of mine online a couple times ago. I was like, I'm wondering if like I'm a high enough level monk in D&D terms for my entire body to count as a magical weapon. I think I might actually literally, because um uh at one point in my life I donated um, peripheral peripheral cell stem cells, which is basically a non-surgical way of donating something very, very close to, but as far as I understand it, better than bone marrow. Um, since I actually plug myself, I will take a moment to plug a amazing charity that I did this for. Um, it's called Be the Match .org. You can just like go there. You take like a cotton swab, I think, if I remember correctly. It might be a blood test. I'm not really sure. I think it might be a blood test. It's been a long time since I did that for the Be the Match, but it's as far as I understand it, what I donated is it's stem cells, um, and it was used to treat and I believe help someone get into full recovery from non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. So that is part of why I'm like, yes, please. If like now caveats, it required about a week of taking a drug that made it, you know, made the stuff loosen up, um, and required at least one day. In my case, because the guy was kind of like a bigger dude, um, they like were kind of worried about like having enough, and so they asked me if I could stay for an additional day. I was like, sure, I'll do that. But like in most cases, that's like I feel like that was kind of an unusual situation, as it were. Um, so be the match, totally like plugging them because they're awesome people. Um, hmm, let's see if I have no idea if this dude is even still alive because like I looked up at least a little bit of information to see if I could like at least actually pronounce his name right. But if he is still alive, he's like 111, which is in fact possible. Like um my dad died like 8-ish years ago, and I said something at his funeral that like I thought was honestly simply an observation. So I'm of the opinion that we are living in a time where our medical technology is to a point where whether we're spiritually evolved enough for it or not, people can live close to forever. People can get Kevlar wraps for their heart to keep them beating. I ain't joking. Kevlar is, if I understand correctly, a substance that is very, very, very non-volatile inside the human body, um, which is why it's actually ideal for bulletproof vests, provided someone doesn't have some sort of armor-piercing um, ammunition, because it, even if a couple fibers get in there, like it's not going to immediately cause your entire system to shut down from toxicity. It can just sort of like sit there and like be picked out later, or like it can maybe just like sit in your skin and just like sit there and just like you'll have a Kevlar fiber in your skin. Like maybe that happens sometimes. I don't know. I've never been shot wearing a Kevlar vest. I wouldn't know. But that's my point is, it's my understanding, like based on what Kevlar is, it shouldn't be volatile inside the body. Now I can be wrong. I can be wrong all day. That is something I'm fond of saying, by the way. I can be wrong all day. I feel like there was at least a couple of years specifically where I was specifically wrong all day. But um, anyway, now that rambled about that. Plug those. Plug me the match. Oh, yeah, on the side note of like, part of the reason I thought of bringing up Be the Match, which is because I blessed my bone marrow at like a cellular level. I got their word for it. I was like, okay, I'll do that. I blessed my brain, my central nervous system, my peripheral nervous system, my parasympathetic nervous system. There's words for all of those. I'm not even joking. Um, there's a bunch of blessings on my heart. Um, vocal cords, eyes. There's a ton of blessings on my eyes. There's a fair number on my glasses. Um, all my bones. I mentioned that. Nose, ears. Oh, I bless my strings of consciousness. Um, like Sorotas Vijnana, like the hearing string consciousness. Um, and like, oh, this is part of why I'm like 99% convinced that like string theory is best viewed as terms of strings of consciousness, um, and that's how to best view all of humanity as like individual sort of like clusters of strings of consciousness that are all supposed to be just one entity, and that's why you have like one entity has 8 strings because you have like your 5 sensory strings, like your hearing string is your second one, and Kaksta Vijnana, eye string. Kaya Vijnana is touch, like whole body, including inside. Um, let's see. I don't remember. There's a smell. I don't think it's nose. I think it's smell. And there's tongue consciousness, not just like taste consciousness, but like tongue consciousness. I don't remember what the words are at the top of my head. My best guess would probably actually be like rasa vinyana for tongue, because um, there's a couple different words for like most things. Like in most languages, there's like there's stool, chair, like recliner. Like there's words for like there's word for couch. Like there's a lot of words for like I'm guessing because there's a small but like prolific I guess probably growing community that actually speaks Sanskrit and like because there's a mind-boggling number of computer terms that I found very fascinating. Anyway, because that's yeah, I've kind of actually also been um I put a lot of blessing on like stuff. Like there's a bench over here that I effectively turned this entire building into a temple with because I was like, wonder, wonder how I would do that. Wonder if I can do that. Like that's something I have a right to do. I was like, I actually tried to call Angkor Wat about it. Like, believe it or not, like, I was told by the Cambodian embassy, oh, just like, look for whoever you're trying to talk to on Facebook. I'm like, I'm trying to talk to someone who's a member of the Cambodian royal family who may actually be dead, but like, because like I was initiated 17 years ago. Like, that is a long time ago. So like, funny story about the dude who initiated me, a dude named Buddha Paul. He's literally covered in Sanskrit tattoos. So if 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 like if Stifler ends up, I'm sorry, Sean William Scott. If Sean William Scott was like cruising YouTube and randomly sees this, please comment and tell me, did you have a consultant on Bulletproof Monk named Buddha Paul? Because that dude might have literally initiated me because he was covered in Sanskrit tattoos. I'm not joking. It might have been Pali, actually. I'm not sure which, but like Pali and Sanskrit are very similar in a lot of ways, as far as I can tell. I've never actually studied Pali, but anyway. Um, oh yeah, I'll do some like not humble bragging. I like mildly studied a lot of languages. Um, like I've extensively. I think I have like an extensive Sanskrit vocabulary off the top of my head at this point. But might have actually almost started thinking in Sanskrit, which would be hilarious because I actually don't know the grammar. I should really do some research on Sanskrit grammar. But like I know a little bit of French from like back in high school. I know like a tiny amount of German, like an itty bitty speck of German, like an equally itty bitty speck of like Welsh. Like I have a slightly larger Italian vocabulary specifically because of studying music. Like you know, crescendo and pianissimo and forte and crescendo and things like that. Legato. Um, I did a little bit of I learned like Greek alphabet. I learned Cyrillic alphabet, like the old one. Um, took a quick look at some of the older stuff too. Like I've taken a look at the Biblosyllabary, um, cuneiform, um, Aramaic. Aramaic, I'm pretty sure is like if I remember correctly, uses like the exact same alphabet as Hebrew, so that was actually pretty easy. Um, uh, Arabic. Um, started reading a book, How to Teach Yourself Arabic. Got a fair number of exercises in. I think I finished the alphabet. Little bit of Persian, which is yeah. Let's see what else. I mean, I've studied like I kind of sort of know the Hebrew alphabet, like kind of, sort of, mostly because of um, some dude could easily give me some specific dude could easily give me some poop about this, but specifically because of Kabbalah and ritual magic. And let's see, I think that might be about it. Oh, oh, Runic and Ogam. Ogam is Druid tree language. It's pretty cool. And I guess it. Alright. I believe I'm gonna be done for this right now. This Oracle. Cause I'm the one who talks and occasionally sings to you. Damn safely everybody. Oracle talk to you later weirdly. Oh. So I like to occasionally I started freestyling to techno. I love techno so much. Nobody listens to techno. I disagree, Eminem. I listen to techno. I listen to electronic dance music. I love EDM so much. I like to wear a ding. I do not be a DJ cause I do not have the spit and skills, but I like to praise and do a little bit of the movement like liquid fire. The weirding. Don't be a wing ding ding ding. Don't be a ding ding with the wing and the wing ding ding ding. And I'm gonna bye bye, bye 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 bye, bye 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 with the weirding of my and the weirding of mine. Bye bye. Dream safe, everybody.